And we are back with our guest, Aleksandra Kuczyńska Zonik from Institute of Central Europe and Catholic University of Lublin. Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Now, Aleksandra, let's focus on the Baltic states. I mean, at the same time, we have this very interesting situation. We're talking about more sanctions. We're talking about tougher action against Russia. Some of those leaders in the Baltic states are one of the most outspoken against Vladimir Putin. But let's look at that also economically. I think that's also part of the challenge. Can the economics go with the change of policy here?
Yes, it is quite interesting situation that before 2014, I mean, annexation of Crimea by Russia, Latvia had very strictly economic connection and relations with Russia. And it was quite changeable that introducing sanction, Latvia had to transfer and change its economic direction and find new trade partners. And the same situation is now, because the more sanctions are introduced, the more risky situation can appear. And on the one hand, we can see that the Latvian government and the majority of society is for more sanction against Russia, which means that society and the government of Latvia support Ukraine and want to stop economic relation with Russia. But on the other hand, we can see that some problems can appear.
Now, when it comes to Latvia, now according to estimates, and here I want to show you some figures, last year's import rate constituted 1.6% of the total economy. That's import. Now, when it comes to export, it's 3.1%. Now, can Latvia afford just breaking ties with Russia altogether?
I mean, it is quite difficult to stop those economic relations because as I said, for a very long time, Russia was and has to be very important trade partner for Latvia. And still, even the sanctions were introduced, several different goods are imported or exported from and to Russia, but Latvia is very close, I would say, to introduce more sanction and transfer its goods for new directions.
Yeah, and also I want to follow up on what Anya just said. I think can Latvia afford such a drastic move? I think also if we're just looking at the major port there in Riga and other facilities around Latvia, shipping-wise, that's also not just the dock workers, that's the whole infrastructure, that's insurers. We're looking at somewhere between, I think, 20,000, 30,000 people who might be out of a job. Now, if that indeed were to happen, is that a matter of the government or the European Union stepping in to maybe supplement this? Are there other partners or other opportunities that can be taken? I mean, we're looking at, I'm just thinking the 3 Cs, infrastructure-wise. Surely there must be other markets that Latvia could potentially, and the Baltics could potentially replace Russia with.
Mm-hmm. I think that it is very important to look at this risky situation as a kind of new opportunity for Latvia, because when Latvia wants to change and stop its economic relation with Russia, it has to find new economic partners. And it is very good to see and to hear that Latvia is going to find and to introduce new economic cooperation. For example, Latvia wants to possess and recognize itself as a transit partner and strengthen its economic relations with United States, for example, and Central and South Asia. So some activities start to be introduced to find new partners, for example, in Central Asia, for example, in Kazakhstan, in Kyrgyzstan, or in South Asia. Moreover, Latvia is going to and is planning to build new infrastructure. You mentioned Free Sea Initiative, so it is also a new opportunity for Latvia, because it means that economic relations can be continue with partners, for example, in Central and South Europe, which is quite a new direction for Latvia. Finally, we can also say that Latvia is going to build, for example, economy zone for looking new investors and to attract new investors in Latvia itself. So not only as a transit country, but also to attract new entrepreneurs and new economic partners in Latvia.
I have this quote for economist from Latvia, and she said, if there were a complete breakdown of relations in 1 year, she's talking about Russia, of course, then we would probably have a year again without growth in the economy. So that would be a big hit for Latvia. Now, which countries invest in Latvia right now?
Probably, I mean, I cannot say directly which country is the main partner of Latvia, but as I said, Latvia is looking for new investors from United States, from Germany, from Western European countries to invest in Latvia, and I would say that it is a very good opportunity for this country, because Latvia is quite well developed country and has got quite good potential for being a transit country, especially when we look at developing countries in Central Asia and South Asia.
And I think also there's very much that historical presence in Riga, we can trace it back to the Middle Ages as a transport hub, really. But on that, more on a modern note, I think it's also probably worth noting neighbors, Estonia, neighbors like Lithuania in particular, who's built up more of a network of other countries. You mentioned Southeast Asia. I'm thinking Taiwan as well as a major investor, South Korea as well, and Japan in these countries. So I'm just curious, is there also that integration more now with the Baltic states economically? Are these also kind of partners? Because we're always kind of considering Latvia as maybe one of those countries in the Baltics that is potentially the weakest link. So is there more integration also with other Baltic states? Just briefly at the end.
I mean, it's very simple. You can say that there is a unity in a sense of economic cooperation, because they are pro-European, pure European, quite good developed country with huge potential of their economy in sense of European countries. But on the other hand, we can also find out that their economic relations and economic vision, for example, towards China is it's not totally similar. So we can also find some differences between among them. But on the other hand, as I said, the most important issue, the most important factors in economic relations is their security. So all economic relations between the Baltic states and other regions we can recognize in relations to their security.